A woman was admiring the scenery with her husband when their dog suddenly started barking incessantly and ran down the mountain, as if it had discovered something terrifying. The woman called out loudly but couldn't get the dog to return, so she had her husband go down the mountain to chase after it. However, the man didn't come back for a long time after pursuing the dog. The woman grew worried, looking down the mountain but seeing no sign of movement. Just as she wondered if something had happened, their small dog came running back up the mountain looking frightened. As the woman was about to stand up, she heard her husband yell,
"Run! Go! Go! Go!"
She was terrified to see her husband knocked down by someone. A man with a gun was walking towards her from the bottom of the mountain. The woman immediately turned and fled for her life, leaping off the mountainside. The bad guy looked over the edge for a while, but didn't dare jump down. Soon, 2 more bad guys arrived from the bottom of the mountain. It turned out they had been burying a body when the woman's husband accidentally saw them while looking for the dog. To eliminate witnesses, they decided to hunt down the woman. Meanwhile, the woman who had tumbled down the slope miraculously survived. She was about to escape when she saw the bad guys searching for her in the distance. She quickly found a place to hide, crawling into an area with lots of wood, and then concealing herself beside a large rock. At that moment, the bad guys were walking step by step towards her location. Hearing this, the woman was nearly overwhelmed with fear. She held back her terror, not allowing herself to make a sound. Just as the bad guys were about to reach her, the woman almost fainted from fright. Fortunately, after looking around and seeing no one, the bad guys turned and left. The woman finally breathed a sigh of relief, but to survive, she had to keep moving forward. However, it was getting darker and darker, and the woman was truly exhausted from running. Luckily, she found a small cave on the mountain where she could finally rest. At night, alone in the cave, the woman felt frightened. She took out her phone, wanting to call for help, but discovered there was no signal and the battery was low. This left her feeling desperate. Heartbroken, she pulled out a photo of her husband. Perhaps this was the best comfort she could give herself. Unfortunately, after just a few glances, the phone ran out of power and automatically shut off. The woman could only cry sadly by herself. She never imagined that a trip with her husband would lead to this situation. As the weather grew colder, the woman started a fire. Shining her lighter on the cave wall, she discovered a handprint, clear evidence that someone had been there before. The woman immediately realized it could be the bad guys. It seemed they were very familiar with this area. What good was running for her life? The more the woman thought about it, the angrier she became. She decided to fight back. Using a charred stick, she wrote a challenge to the bad guys on the rock. She was determined to take them out and avenge her husband.